Hi everyone, Ravi this side. Welcome to EnggAdda. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about the abstract factory design pattern. In the previous videos, we have discussed about the design patterns in brief. What are the different type of design pattern we have, and inside those categories of design patterns, we have also discussed the separate design patterns that are available. We also have discussed about the singleton design pattern, factory design pattern. In this video, we are going to discuss about the abstract factory design pattern. Abstract factory design pattern is a kind of creational design pattern where we'll try to see how we can create the object of a class. Okay, so we are going to discuss about the abstract factory design pattern in this video. I will try to remind you about the factory design pattern first, and then we'll move to the abstract factory design pattern, because abstract factory design pattern is similar to what we have discussed about the design pattern. Only there is a slight change in the abstract factory design pattern. That is why I'm just going to discuss about the factory design pattern first. So here you can see we are inside the factory design pattern, and it says that the factory design pattern is a creational design pattern that provides a way to create objects without specifying their exact class. Think of it as an abstraction of our object creation, much like a real world factory that produces product without you needing to know details of how they are made. So in the factory design patterns, what we were doing is we were trying to create a, let's say, a product. Okay, and we are going to create the product as an interface, and then there would be a two or three concrete classes that will be implementing that product interface. Okay, and there would be a factory, and that factory will have the logic to create the object of that particular product. Okay, here what we have is we have an abstract factory as well, and then we have the concrete factory that will implement the abstract factory. So this is what we have in the this is what additionally we have in the abstract factory design pattern. As the name suggests, it is abstract factory design pattern. That means there is no concrete factory class. There is abstract factory interface, and then we have the concrete factory classes separately. Okay, so this is what abstract factory design pattern is. And again, if you are not confirmed about it, I will discuss thoroughly about the abstract factory design pattern, but this is what I just want to show you. Here you can see in the factory design patterns, what we are doing is, let's say, imagine you are at restaurant and you order a drink. Okay, you don't care how the drink is prepared in the kitchen. Okay, and you only care that the receive the correct drink. The restaurant is essentially a factory that takes your input and delivers the corresponding product. So this was happening in the product. This was happening in the factory design pattern. In the factory design pattern, you can see that there is a kitchen and the restaurant, and the order is prepared inside the kitchen. But in abstract factory, what will happen is there would be a separate building where the kitchen is, and the client is waiting in the restaurant. They will do a order. That order will go to the separate building in the kitchen, and might be that kitchen would be calling some third party, let's say Swiggy or Zomato, to prepare your order. Okay, so that is what abstract factory is. In the abstract factory, there is a one more layer in between the object creation. That is what I wanted to explain you. So let me try to go to the next slide to discuss about the abstract factory. Okay, so abstract factory design pattern is a creational design pattern that provides a way to produce families of related or dependent objects. Okay, so in the factory design pattern, we were trying to create the product itself, but there is a in the abstract factory we have to see how we can produce a family of related or dependent objects without specifying their concrete classes. Let's explore it with the fresh analogy and perspective. Okay, now here I have listed on one example. Let's say, imagine you are designing a futuristic car showroom. Okay, just listen it thoroughly so that you will get the understanding of abstract factory, what it is and how we can implement it out. So imagine you are designing a futuristic car showroom. Each car comes with its own ecosystem of compatible components like seats, dashboards, and tires. However, the showroom needs to support both electric and gasoline cars. Okay, in showroom we have both type of cars like electric and gasoline cars, each requiring distinct component, and the component of electric cars and the gasoline car are different. They have the distinct components. An abstract factory is like a supplier of these cars. It produces families of related components. Example, electric or gasoline car parts. So in the showroom, this the showroom is delivering the electric cars and the gasoline cars, but there would be some factory that will supply these products which are distinct in the nature for the electric and the gasoline parts. Okay, it produces a family of related components without you worrying about the exact manufacturing process of for each. Okay, so there would be additional layer. That is what I just want to say. Like let's say in the showroom you went and you have let's say you want to buy some electric car, and there is also option of gasoline car, but there is a factory that produces the family of the components that electric and the gasoline cars are having. Okay, so there is a factory, and then that factory can separately have two other factories which would be supplying the electric components separately and the gasoline components separately. So there would be a two layers of factories. Okay, in programming terms, it allows the creation of object families, related objects. It ensures that objects produced are compatible with each other, and the client code is decoupled from the specific implementation of these objects. If you are not understanding it out, I will show you through an example. Okay, so don't worry of that. So again, let me bring you one small example so that you will get the understanding of it first, and then we'll discuss about the why one should use the abstract factory and all those things. So let's say you wanted to design a car. Okay, sorry, chair. Let's say you wanted to design a chair. Okay, so you have an abstract product called chair. You have created an interface of the chair. Okay, in the chair you have a method called sit on. Okay, so you have created one interface chair. You have a method called sit on inside that chair interface. Now that chair could be of two types. It can be a modern chair, it can be a Victorian chair. So you have created the concrete classes for this chair, which is, let's say, saying Victorian chair and the modern chair, and you implemented the sit on method inside them. Okay, this is how we were doing the things in the abstract factory. But now what we have is we have a factory that will produce the object of the chairs. Okay, here we have not created a direct concrete class for the factory. Okay, let's say we have created one interface called furniture factory, and then we have two separate classes which are implementing this furniture factory interface, and they are the real factory producers. They are the real object producers. Okay, so we have the furniture factory interface, and then we have separate Victorian furniture factory and modern furniture factory classes which are implementing this furniture factory. Okay, so this is what I wanted to tell you. This is how the abstract factory design patterns works. Now I will go to the next slide to discuss why one should use abstract factory. Okay, so the first thing is consistency across the families. It ensures that the objects from the same family are compatible with each other. For instance, in a UI library, you can ensure that Mac buttons matches the Mac scroll bar. Okay, so consistency across the family should be there. Scalability and extensibility. Adding a new family of a related object like Linux component does not require modifying the existing code base. You simply add a new factory implementation and that's it. Okay. Now the third feature is decoupled client code. The client interact only with the abstract interfaces of the classes, promoting flexibility and adhere to the dependency injection inversion principle. Okay. Now the fourth one is simplifies complex object creation logic. It encapsulates the creation of complex interdependent objects within a factory. Okay, so these are the key features why one should use the abstract factory. The first thing, consistency across families, scalability and extensibility, decoupled client code, and simplify the complex object creation logic. Now I'll go to the next slide to discuss how to use the abstract factory pattern. So here comes the picture. First, you have to define the abstract product, which would be an interface. Let's say you have defined a chair as an abstract product. Now, inside the chair of interface, you have a method called seat on. Okay. Then the next step what would be, you have to create the concrete product. So let's say the chair interface has two concrete products of two concrete classes, which is Victorian chair and the modern chair, and they will implement the method inside the chair interface. Now the third one is define abstract factory. So here we are not directly creating the concrete factory. We also have the abstract factory here, which would be an interface. And let's say that abstract factory is a furniture factory, which has a method called create chairs. Okay. Then we have the implementation of this abstract factory interface with the concrete factories. It can be, let's say, Victorian furniture factory and modern furniture factory, for example, which would be implementing the method inside that abstract factory. And then we have the client code. Okay, so this is the whole thing. This is how you can actually develop or design the abstract factory pattern. Now, if you want to read it out, you can do it. Like, abstract product represents the type of object that will be created. Each family must produce concrete implementation of these products. Okay, so these things you can read it out. I will stop it for here, and or you can pause it out and then read it. Now I will go to the next slide to discuss where does the abstract factory fits perfectly. So the first is graphical user interface. Like toolkits, you can use abstract factory design pattern here, and then database driver management you can use, and theming system you can use here, and then game development. So these are the key features where you can use the abstract factory design pattern. Now, what you should be aware of while you are using the abstract factory. The first thing is complexity. So if the requirement is not there for the abstract factory, don't implement it out. Otherwise, it will increase the complexity of your application. Abstract factory can increase the complexity of your code base by introducing many interfaces and the classes. Now, the second is overuse. Not all the application requires such a strict separation of the families. Use it when object compatibility is crucial. And then the third one is rigid structure. Adding a new product type, example sofa in the furniture example, requires changes across all the factories. So make sure that you have a clear requirement about your application, and then only implement this kind of design patterns in it. Okay, if it is required, then only implement it out. So this is about the abstract factory, and these are the key benefit of it. It promotes the open close principle. You can add new families without modifying existing code. It enhances the cohesion, ensure related products are created together, avoiding compatibility issue. And then it also reduces the client complexity. Okay, client only need to deal with the factory interfaces, not the intrinsics of object creation. So these are the key benefit of it. I think we have discussed about the abstract factory. Now we'll go to the implementation of it. So I will come out of it, and I will go to the IntelliJ here. Again, I will show you this factory design pattern, what we have implemented. So I will show you again here. So let's say we have created this product called shape. Inside it, we have a draw method, and then we have two concrete classes for the implementation of the shape, which is a rectangle, which is overriding the draw method and saying that I am rectangle, and then we have the circle, which also implements the shape and says I am a circle. And then separately we have a shape factory class. Make sure that it is a concrete class. Okay, and then we are creating the object inside this concrete class, and then we have the client code, which is client demo, and then we are calling the create shape method of the shape factory, and then creating the object of the circle and the rectangle. So this is what we were doing in the factory design pattern. Now in the stack factory, what will happen is these things would be same, but at the place of shape factory, where we have the shape factory as a concrete class, in the abstract factory, as the name suggests, abstract factory, we have either abstract class or we have an interface at the factory level as well, and then we have two or three or four different concrete classes for the factories. So this is one layer extra we are adding in the abstract factory. I hope you are clear on this. Now I will create a separate application for the abstract factory design pattern. So let's say we are just going to create new project, and then let's say it is abstract factory design. Okay, here let me select the okay, and in the archetype you can select the quick start and then create it out, open it in a new tab, and then wait for a few seconds to configure it, and then you can start doing your development. Okay, here we are going to take the example of chair, and we'll try to show you the whole design of abstract factory through that. Okay, so I think it is good. We can now start doing our implementation. So here you can see, if you go inside this source main, now here we can create the classes and the interfaces. Okay, so let's say we are going to develop a abstract factory design pattern, and we are going to take the example of chair. Okay, so I'm just going to create one interface called chair, and let's say this chair interface has a method called seat on. Okay, and we are good. Now I'm going to create two classes, concrete classes. Let's say Victorian chair. These are the type of chair we have, and then we are going to create the let's say modern chair. Okay, now if we'll go to the Victorian chair, just implement the chair here. So implements chair, and just implement it out. Just print something. Let's say I am sitting on Victorian chair. Okay, similarly, if you go to the modern chair, just implement the chair here, and it will say I am sitting on the modern chair. Sorry. Okay, so we are good. As of now, we have created one interface, which is a product here, chair, and then we have two implementation of it. Now we'll try to create one abstract factory. Okay, so let's say I'm just going to create, let's say, factory, furniture factory. Okay, factory. Okay, so we have created this out. Now this will have a method that will create the chair for us. Okay, inside the factory, what we'll do, we'll try to create the chair. So for that, just going to create chair method. Okay, now we are going to create two different concrete factory classes. One would be Victorian factory, Victorian furniture factory. Okay, and then there would be a modern furniture factory. Okay, now this class will implement the furniture factory interface. Okay, so go to this modern furniture factory, implements the furniture factory. We have to override the method inside it, and let's say it will return. Okay, I will show you what it will return. It will return the object of the for it can like it can return the object of let's say this is a modern furniture factory, so it will return the object of modern chair, something like that. Okay, so I will do that. Just wait for a few seconds. Similarly, what you can do, you can go to the this Victorian furniture factory, and then you can try to implement the this fa- furniture factory interface there itself. And then what you can do, uh, you can create the client here. Okay, so just you can see create chair. Now it will return the new modern furniture, sorry, not furniture, modern chair. Good. Now similarly go to the Victorian factory. It will implement the furniture factory, and then we have the method which will create the chair for us. Okay, so just click OK, and it will return the uh, new modern, sorry, this is Victorian chair, right? So it will return the Victorian chair. So for a modern furniture factory will create the modern chair, and Victorian furniture factory will create the Victorian chair. So we are good. Now I will create the client here. So let's say it is client demo, and here what we have to do, I will just create one like here we'll try to create the PSVM method. So let's say public static void main, and we are good. Now we'll try to, here we'll try to see how the client can call, or how the client can create the object of the modern chair or the Victorian chair. Okay, and you will see that the implementation of object creation is hidden from the client. Okay, so let me try to do that. So let's say we are going to create one let's say object of furniture factory or like furniture factory, and let's say we are going to create the uh, object of Victorian factory first. Okay, so furniture factory victorious, why it is coming here victorious, Victorian factory equal to new Victorian furniture factory. Now with the help of this we are going to create the chair. Okay, so let's say chair, and we have the Victorian chair here. We'll use this Victorian factory to create the Victorian chair. Okay, so I will show you. So here what we are doing is we are creating the object of furniture factory, and in implementation we are using the Victorian furniture factory. That is why we are here, you can see we are using the new Victorian furniture factory. It will create the object of Victorian furniture factory, and then with the help of this object of the Victorian furniture factory we are going to create the chair. We are not directly creating the chair or chair object. We are using this Victorian furniture factory object to create the chair object. So implementation of, or you can say the creation of the chair object is hidden from the client. Now we have the Victorian chair. I will try to. So what you can do, we have created the chair object. So what? Yeah, with the help of this chair object, we can call the sit in method, right? Victorian chair dot sit on method. And if you run this out, you will get the things here. So it will take few seconds. I think it is running now. You can see that it says I am sitting on Victorian chair. So object of Victorian chair is created and it is hidden from the client. Okay. So implementation of creation of object of Victorian chair is not shown to the client. And this is how you can implement the abstract design factory. So here you can see that what we are doing in the abstract factory design or abstract design factory, what we are doing is we are just simply introducing one more layer at the factory level, and then we have the concrete factory classes which will try to create the object of the product. Now I think it is a simple example. I hope you got the idea. Now similarly what you can do is you can create the object of modern chair. So let's say we are going to create the object of this furniture factory first. Furniture factory, let's say modern factory equal to new modern furniture factory. Then with the help of this we'll create the chair object, and let's say chair name is modern chair, and we are going to use the modern factory to call the create chair method. Once we have the modern chair created, with the help of object of that, we're just going to call the sit on method. And if you'll run it out, you will see, sorry, it's debugging, I'm not sure. Just by mistake, I just click on the debug. But don't worry on that, I will run it out again and then show you. So here you can see we are printing both. I am sitting on Victorian chair, and then I am sitting on the modern chair. So this is how you can implement the abstract factory design pattern. Okay. I hope the idea is clear. I will again explain you what we are doing. We are just simply trying to create one chair interface, which is a product in our case, and then we have different concrete classes which would be creating the object of the chair. Okay, which is modern chair and the Victorian chair. If you go inside this, you can see that it is implementing the chair, and these are the classes. Now at the factory level, we are not creating the concrete class here. We are just trying to add one more layer. That is why we are making the furniture factory as a interface, and then we have two implementation of it, which is modern furniture factory and the Victorian furniture factory, and inside that we are simply creating the object of the chair. Okay, so this is what abstract factory design pattern is, and I hope the idea is clear, and this is how you can implement it out. This is about the video, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button and please subscribe the channel for more such content. Thanks.